My next question to you, ma'am, is this book is divided into set of problems and solutions. आप क्या हमें शॉर्ट में बताएंगे कि क्या क्या प्रॉब्लम्स हैं, क्योंकि हो सकता है हमारे बहुत सारे ऑडियंस ऐसे हैं जो कुछ ऐसे सॉल्यूशंस ढूंढ रहे हो और उन्हें पता ना हो कि कहाँ अप्रोच करें. सो आई थिंक दिस बुक कैन हेल्प देम. Please mention some problems that are written in this book.
So some of the major problems that Indian girls face when they go over there is, first of all, there's tremendous isolation. When you are going, 90% of the time you ask any woman who's going, she knows one person, some distant relative, some distant friend in that place. So she doesn't basically know anybody, she only knows the husband. And that husband also she may have met only a couple of times. When he came to India to marry her, or you're getting busy in getting your visa done and you go, you don't know that person really well. You have no friends there, you have no family there. And there are not so many people. America is so huge, depends on where you're settling, whether there is a community, Indian community there or not. There are so many states where there is no Indian community at all also. Because India is only 1% population in the whole of America. So you're very rare to find people who can assist you. So you are sending your child there, which means she is definitely bound to have isolation. And then when total abuse is inflicted on them, on mental abuse, the kind of abuse is economic. They will be having no money because they have no immigration status. If you're going on a very famous visa which people go on H1B, how many 65,000 a year go every year for H1B, and the woman dependent goes on an H4 status. H4 status, they know very well cannot work, cannot drive. So who are you going to be dependent on? And if the man tells you that you are good for nothing, so I've met girls who are PhDs, who are highly educated, but they can't work there. And they realize after the first 6 months or something that probably they've been called there only as a maid servant or what. Because the expectations from them are so much. You'll run the family, you'll run the house. And the man will then say, I'm giving you my money. I'm earning. You're not even worth earning. She doesn't know what to do. She cannot even get a driving license. She cannot do many things. So look at the isolation is built in the system because the immigration status is such. So this kind of work I've never seen anywhere else, because 90% of the cases that I've done of the girls who come, they have repeatedly requested the Indian government and the US government, what kind of immigration laws are you giving us? Where are we going? We really did not know that we were going to be treated in this manner. And then the isolation starts, and then they cannot contact anybody. Then if the men say, you can't call your parents more than 2 times in a week, I'll give you a calling card, you'll call them twice a week. That's all you can call them. And then when they call their parents in India, our patriarchal society, what does it say? It says, bear with your family, doesn't matter, adjust as much as possible. You're a good wife, you need to be an ideal wife for your husband. Because breaking of marriage is a big taboo, and that's what they have to surmount. That if the marriage is breaking, the woman thinks it's her fault. Maybe she's not done enough for the husband, maybe she's not done enough for her in-laws. So all those things the woman keeps on, she has nobody to talk to. Counseling sessions are extremely expensive. Thank God for some of these organizations, South Asian women organizations, which have done some sliding scale costs for counseling sessions. There are none who understand South Asian problems. So imagine going to an entirely non-South Asian counselor. They won't understand your custom or where you come from, how you've been brought up, how you were brought up differently from your brothers, how in India brothers are treated and how girls are treated. They're prepared for marriage, and boys are told to be independent, girls are not. So the girls were always dependent on somebody, either their father or their husband. Now in this case, that husband is now saying, I am doing everything for you, do this in return for me. What are you doing? So the girl, and by the time supposing the girl starts expecting a baby, and she wants her parents to come and help her there, he says no, in a girl's parents' house, no girl's parents come and live here. So what are you going to do? You don't get any help. So you suffer it out. Many times you have, gynecological problems. Many times your children are suffering. And then they give birth in such a situation to children. Look at the kind of things that goes through. She wants to go to India, supposing a man is being abusive to her. She wants to go to India. What are you going to do? He'll say, okay, you go to India, then don't come back. So she doesn't know again what to do. So she doesn't have her own will. She cannot decide what can she do. If she was in India, perhaps, she could have contacted somebody. She could have contacted her family. Both the families would have sat together and done something. Here, look at the distances. Who's going to talk to whom and how? So these are basic problems that goes on. Secondly, the laws. By the time, supposing educated women are there, they try to understand the laws. They don't understand the laws. They wonder, in India you cannot get a divorce unless it is proven cruelty. You have to prove cruelty. Whereas there is no question of cruelty. Two people want a divorce. One person files, he automatically gets a divorce. So when the woman is suddenly served divorce purpose and she knows in 3 months I'll be divorced, I get calls, frantic calls, just asking me this question, really madam, can I be divorced in 3 months? And I say, I'm very sorry to tell you, yes, you will be divorced. Oh, I'll be divorced? That's a shock for them. And you can't explain why it will be divorced. Okay, then this divorce will at least not be valid in India. So they're trying to hold on to a marriage more for the stigma attached to it. They really want to leave their husband. They are sick of him because of the beatings he's done to them. But I still want to hold on to my marriage because remaining married means I'm a good person. That is the thinking in Indian psyche. Being married, a woman thinks she's a good woman, she's a chaste woman. This patriarchal society in India has caused this huge damage and we're not able to get out of it. So remember, anything that happens in India in a marriage, 10 folds gets worse in America, gets worse when you go there. And we just embark on this journey without knowing. So coming to solutions now, what are the solutions? That is exactly what I've written in this book. And that's why I wanted to tell the community that first of all, before going, check out the visa status of the man. Do a verification. Just like you here want to find out what is the man doing, what is his degree, what is his background, what is his job, what is his family like. Same way you need to verify even more in America. You can't just agree. There are ways in which you can find out. It's very easy to find out in America by just their social security number. Just like you have an Aadhaar card in India, they have a social security there. From social security, everything you can find out, whether he's cheated anybody or not, there's record.
That's great.
And then from women organizations around, you can do a background check on him. You can do a social background check. You can look at his social media. Nowadays media is playing a good role. You could find out a lot of things about him. Does he have friends at all? Has he had past girlfriends or not? So this is basically background check is so important. You don't just do an internet dating site and then you fall in love and then you want to get married and you don't want to verify somebody. You're taking a big decision of marriage which is probably going to change your life forever and you're getting married. Nowadays people even about a boyfriend want to check so much more and you in a marriage don't want to check up and you want to get married just because. So if your reason of marriage is wrong and you just want to run away from this country and go to America, then you're in another rude shock also. What if your boyfriend changes tomorrow there? Do you know the laws of America? What are you going to do? So it's like, these are the kind of things. Immigration, knowing your immigration status. If he's a US citizen, you can easily go there and go on a fiancé visa and live there for 6 months, get to know him, and you know all about him, and then you decide to get married. That's better. Why would you want to just go and then discover later on? Because you don't know him at all, his circumstances, where he lives, what is going on. I've had cases where women went there and then they were said, they were told, we have girlfriends already. Indian girls, you be the wife, you stay at home. So that kind of culture I have seen of girls who are so highly educated suddenly being very demure and thinking that the more nice they are to their husbands, their marriage will survive. And then there it goes. And when you have children, it again rebounds at you. You want to educate your child in a certain way. He wants to educate the child in another way. He doesn't want them to meet your parents. So you're isolated from your parents also. Don't go and meet your parents. So the girls have, a very hard time there to understand the culture, understand the root shock. And the Indian government, I think, owes a duty to hold workshops in India, especially for marriage when a girl is going. So these are the workshops I've been trying to do all my life, understanding which background the girls come from, why they are in a certain way. It's not their fault. We bring them up in that way. And then we want them to be married in the United States. How many girls from Punjab, particularly Punjabi girls, went? Because the Indian government did not even understand that these people are going, but their intention of going was to bring 10 more families after that. And they sacrificed their daughters also for that. Because those daughters went through hell of subjugation. Those effects of those subjugation are there very strong. I can see that in America. The girls had rebelled. And they were treated very, very badly, and they could not share their stories with anybody. I would go to a gurdwara and I would hear these in hushed tones, and I could feel that underbelly of domestic violence. And that's something which was totally shocking to me, totally shocking. And there was no lawyer present to do these cases because you would ask for a minimum $25,000 to $50,000 retainer to fight a case like that. It's very difficult. Very expensive to have a lawyer in America. And there is no community lawyers who are willing to, obviously the lawyers are also have to, earn their bread and butter. Where are they going to go for a free case every now and then to the court? So these are services which are being provided because of the problems that we are facing. We need to address these issues. We need to address this kind of domestic violence that goes on in America. This goes on in foreign countries because of this problem. Primarily in foreign countries, it is the same all over.
Well, I'm also a daughter, and I'm sure I'm the age of your daughter too. So, dear parents, I request you from the core of my heart to please do a background check, as ma'am said, because she is your daughter and you have all the right to know about the would-be groom and his family too. Before it's too late, please try to understand that we are not talking about just social upliftment or awareness, but lives of many innocent girls.